Hi everybody, John Cena here, and welcome to Series 2, Episode 11 of FunkQuest Season 2. And we've got two veterans, is that the right word, from Season 1. So, Brian, why don't you tell me who you are, where you're from?
I am Bryan Falchuk. I'm from the U.S., from a city called Boston, and I'm an author, a professional speaker, and a life and executive coach. And I have a mohawk.
You have a mohawk? It's very good.
Yeah, for fun right now. That's my funkiness.
Very good. We like it.
Thank you.
And Vicki, tell me who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Hello, my name is Vicki Wusche, and I am an author, a speaker. I used to be allowed out the house, and now I'm not. I help people get more financially intelligent, because that's something we really need now, because after, can I say the virus already? After this, after this is going to come the financial crisis, and so we need to be prepared for that. And I've just got curly hair, and it's not permed, it's all mine. That's my funkiness.
Good. Well, so if you're new to this, you're probably thinking, what on earth is all this all about? Really, you'll kind of figure it out. But if you think you are funky enough to be on the show, and if you've got a mohawk or a what hairstyle or green hair or blue hair or whatever, send me a tweet at JohnCine1 and have a piece of paper or a pencil, and preferably both, or a pad or something to make note down, because at the end of the show, one of these ladies or gents will go through to the next round. But you can decide who that is by voting for the person that gives you the biggest insight, thought, idea, or suggestion, that something that you didn't know but now you do by listening to us. So with that said, you can join in with hashtag FunkQuest, and let's get started. Now, you have both been on the show before, so you kind of both know there's no advantage in making one of you go first or second, so we'll go ladies first, I think.
Okay.
You're going to pick an item from question one, the question one row.
Is that Elvis and Nixon in number one?
It is.
I'm going to have that, please.
That one. When you are old, what do you think children will ask you to tell stories about?
Sadly, the virus. I would imagine.
Where were you when the virus
Where were you when the virus hit? Yeah, how are you still? In fact, if you're old and you're still around, your children will begin asking, how did you survive, Grandma? Well, I have every intention, both pre and post the virus, of living to meet my grandchildren's grandchildren. This takes a little bit of support from them, because I've worked out that if they breed every 25 years, well, you've got to do the maths on this. There's no point making these wild guesses. Yeah. So basically, I have a 3-year-old granddaughter and a 6-week-old grandson. And if they breed every 25 years, that's another 50 years, then I'll only be 100 and something. And so it's perfectly doable, because in the old days, pre the virus, we had a lot of healthcare and we had very successful lives, and we were going to live that long. And I think that for some of us, then we are still going to be able to do that. And that's it. Yeah.
We'll get them on the show. When they're we'll get them on the show in 48 years' time.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get them on. FunkQuest Season 50. Or whatever.
50, okay.
Yeah, right. Book them.
Yeah.
Brian, you get the same question. When you are old, what do you think children will ask you to tell stories about?
Well, I'm old enough that it's already happened. I do think the ways that we're all interacting virtually is the start of something very different. And so I think, whatever is normal to them then, just like the telephone became the smartphone, and talking to my grandparents growing up about, sort of pre-people generally having phones or pre-TV, this could be one of those moments too. I have no idea what it's going to be, but yeah, I mean, just the way that we're using Zoom and all that, we're still distant. We're trying to be connected. I think that will have been solved in much more normal ways for them. It'll just be part of life, whereas we're all sort of feeling our way through these transitions right now. So that could be quite interesting.
Interesting. I mean, a lot of this was almost predicted by Star Trek. They had video conferencing.
Yeah.
And that was in the 60s.
Yeah, holographic.
Yeah, all that.
Well, yeah.
Well, that was all pretty. I mean, it's supposed to it's 20, whenever the first Star Trek was set, but that thinking was in the 60s.
Yeah.
So they almost predicted this.
That'd be exciting if we can have holograms as well. As just this is a bit one-dimensional, but it'd be really quite cool if we can actually do the whole 3-dimensional.
Can we beam to Brian's house?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sort of have it with VR and stuff, you know, like maybe again, like these could be the early very clunky basis of that, but it could be totally normal for people to visit someone across the world as if they're actually visiting them and interact in person, even though they're not.
That makes my head hurt. That. Let's go on to the next question.
Yeah.
Who's it to go first? Brian, question 2.
I'll take the Polaroid camera. Speaking of what my son and I were just talking about that. He's like, and a picture comes out of it. So yeah, let's take that. The instant
you got to show him a video on YouTube or he won't believe you.
He just did, and that sound, hearing the sound of the photo coming out brought back memories. So yeah, let's go with that.
What do you bring with you everywhere you go?
Oh, this is not a fun, exciting story, but just a smartphone, because if I don't have it, then I suddenly will turn the car around and go back for it. What a terrible answer, but it's true. I don't like to lie. So what
do you feel? How does that
manifest
itself when you're without it?
I feel cut off, and it's more, so where do I go right now? I go to the supermarket, the grocery store, and that's it. And so if I go there and I don't have my phone, it means my wife can't get to me with that thing she desperately needed that she couldn't remember.
Take some tea back.
And I'm not going back.
Yeah.
So, now it's sort of a lifeline, isn't it? And especially because we're not with people anymore. So it went from being like a chemical dependency almost before that, you know, like people are constantly on their devices to now, like that is the only way we have connection in many instances. So I'll go with that.
Yeah. Good answer. Well,
no, but thank you.
No, all right, rubbish. But no, it's interesting about how it, you're right. The funky aspect of that is how it's now to connect people. Because we can't just pop round and borrow some tea bags.
Yeah. That's pathetic, isn't it?
Well, let's move on quick.
Yeah.
Vicky, what was it? Polaroid camera. That noise. What do you take with you everywhere you go?
I would say a passion that borders on lunacy. I get overexcitable. And we were talking before the show about, you called it Kool-Aid, you know, fizzy drinks with too much sugar in it or too much caffeine. Can't have caffeine, can't have too much sugar because I go properly crazy then. But it's excitement. I want excitement. And even now where we're all locked in our own individual houses and only able to communicate like this or with the 1 or 2 or 3 people that you're locked with, I'm still excited for the future. I'm still passionate in my belief, you know, like I said, that I'm going to meet my grandchildren's grandchildren, that we're going to come out of this better. And I am avoiding everything that is in the slightest bit negative, unless we're knocking and having a conversation about one person's up there's particular president, which is fair game as far as I'm concerned. But the rest of it is, you know, I don't want to be involved in any of the negative conversations. I'm aware of what's going on, but I just want to remain in my own little world of hopeful, that this is going to be better for all of us, that we're going to solve homelessness, that we're going to bring people out of poverty, that we're going to recognize how important our health services are, that it'll, you know, change maybe the path we were going down with global warming. And I'm excited for the good news.
I've always got in my mind that any kind of technology is always advanced at rapid speed in times of war.
Mm-hmm.
And this is effectively, well, Boris has said we're at war with this virus. Mm-hmm. And so this is why all these people of Formula One cars are making ventilators and airplanes are making ventilators and, you know, things that they would have never done in a million years. But now we're at war. The thought process is moving on at rapid speed.
Yeah.
But war also accelerates the speed of everything, because I remember when I broke my arm, you know how in the old days when you broke your arm, you had your arm in a plaster cast for, you know, like a month or more, because my surgeon had been in the war and had treated casualties as a part of, you know, like real proper bang bang war as opposed to our virus war. I was only in a cast for 3 weeks, because what they learned is that the muscle wastage was worse keeping you in for longer. So I think we're going to learn so much, and that's what excites me. I'm looking for learning.
Thing, how it's applied. Next question 3. Who's it to go first? Is it Vicky, I think?
Yeah.
So,
is it me? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's between the wall and the mini.
It's a toughie, isn't it? I don't know.
It is a toughie.
Yeah. The China or the Mini?
Well, then in that case, I'm going to go rocket. Right, so if I can't decide.
Well, the space shuttle thing.
Oh, I had a music question before.
Did you? What was the answer?
Oh, I don't know what I said. I used to be a lady DJ when I was 18. Yeah, I obviously didn't tell you that bit. So I like all music except for jazz, which I don't class as music. Is that controversial? Wow. Oh, sorry, is Brian a jazz fan?
Brian, a Miles Davis fan?
No, that's not usually the one that people throw out when there's one genre that they don't like. That was interesting. That's all. I wasn't.
Well, I think there are plenty of other genres of music that maybe aren't to your taste, but I don't think jazz is even
music.
Wow.
Oh, sorry to everybody I've offended with that. But let's take me back to, I was a lady DJ and it was all going really well until the boss of the circuit I was on decided that he needed to sex it up a bit, bearing in mind I was only 18, 19 years old, and he wanted to build a cage and a perch, and he wanted me to sit on a perch in a glittery top, a bit like a bird in a bird cage, and I was to sit on this perch in a cage, and you know, in those days it was queuing up records as opposed to they all do it now. Yeah. And I don't know how I was supposed to swing backwards and forwards and get the needle in the right place.
And not bump it.
But worse, I was the only girl on a circuit full of boys, and therefore what were they all going to look in the cage? Yeah. So, but he never did build it in the end, because I think the look of disgust I gave him put him off.
Just to cheer you up, Vicky, I'm going to put a link in the show notes to the jazz club man from the Fast Show. Brian will not have seen that. But I'll put that.
I was in a jazz band back in the day, so I'm just trying to breed some dislike for you, Vicky, because you're far ahead right now. Sorry. Can you believe people? She doesn't like jazz. Can you? Oh my gosh.
Right, well,
I'm an awful person.
Yes, she said it. There you go.
Awful. Right, let's. Brian, what kind of music do you like listening to jazz?
I definitely appreciate jazz. I see it as quite a creative musical outlet, so we'll leave it at that. Only positivity, as Vicky said. So my wife and I go to this, and my son actually go to this amazing acupuncturist who, he has this background music. Each song is like 20 to 30 minutes long, and he gave us the tracks, and they just play in a loop. Yeah. I hear that whether it's playing or not when I'm meditating or trying to relax. So it's got to be that, because whether I'm trying to play it or not, it plays in my head when I'm seeking to relax. It's this very sort of new age, airy, inspirational sound. So that's... Is
this when you're kind of in the waiting room, when you're having your treatment, or what is it?
Well, it's the whole... I mean, it's not a big place, so you hear it everywhere. But yeah, and one time we went and one of the speakers was blown, so it wasn't working, and we were like, something's very wrong. We couldn't quite place it. But yeah, so that, or there's an album called Osho, and that has whole tones. It's like, it's all very, the pace of things matters. That also puts me at ease. But this is the one thing, I don't know what the heck it's called.
30 minutes of loop music.
Yeah, it can be annoying, but it's really, if you just let it sit in the background in your mind, it does it. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah. So is it ambient music? That
essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Question 4. Who is Brian to go first?
Yeah. Me. I see someone who looks like me, so let's go with the mohawk.
The girl, the punk rock girl.
Yeah, she looks like me otherwise, because Vicky said may the best woman win. So.
Well, that's a good question actually, because what will always be in fashion no matter how much time passes?
Oh, no, look, all of my answers have been very tangible, and Vicky's have been values based, and then I'm like, oh, why didn't I say that? So let's go with. I do think, and actually this is a great reminder, is family. So, we do get caught up in a lot of races in our life. And, as the proverbial breadwinner in my family, earning an income and supporting my family's front and center, that's all been shot right now. I'm a speaker. I'm not going on stage anywhere. I'm not getting paid because I'm not going on stage. And yet doing the bedtime routine with my son the other night, I had this calm in me about the lack of pressure around when my next flight is and where I'm going long. I spent 4 years straight where I was on at least 2 planes a week. So just being able to let go of that so I can really just be present with my family. And yeah, there's good and bad moments, but I don't know how that goes out of style. And I appreciate getting to remember that right now.
It's a good answer. Very good answer.
Thank you. I'm trying now.
No, I agree. That's very definitely a winning answer, and very close to to my heart there. I think that's something that everybody's going to come back to and get out of this.
Yeah.
Well, you got the same question, which is the green and blue, purple and blue, punk rock girl, which is what will always be in fashion.
Now he's taken the best answer. What can I
You could say your smartphone.
Yeah, smartphone.
No.
Yeah, because you have a Nokia 8310 or something.
I think what is always going to be in fashion, I'm going to say fashion is always going to be in fashion. I think we're always going to be obsessed with something. And I think what we've often been obsessed with, meaningless things that someone else told you was a good idea, which quite frankly, the mobile phone could have fitted into. Like it did. I never saw the point of it in the early days. I mean, if I want a phone, I want to phone someone, and I don't want the phone, if I'm speaking to you, I don't want the phone going off. And why would I want to take a picture with a phone when I've got a perfectly good camera, because I was a photographer? You can probably see some of my pictures behind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just didn't see the point of it. And now, as we've spoken, that technology's caught up. It's actually more than just a phone. It's actually a better device. So I don't think it's a phone. It's the smartness of it that's more clever. But actually what I think is we get hung up on material things, and that's quite sad that we're stuck with material things. Material things will always be in fashion. And actually, maybe what will come out of this is we will start to get back to the things that really matter, like selfishness is something that we won't want, and that appreciation is something that we will value, and kindness. And I don't know about you, but I think I've always said thank you to people a lot, but now I say thank you to my postman, because without him I wouldn't have my mail. I'm saying thank you to the girl
and the
or the boy. Absolutely.
And it means more today.
Yeah, I think
it does. Because without them, I wouldn't get my food, but they're also putting their lives in danger. And of course, in the UK tonight at 8 o'clock, we're doing the whole clapping for the NHS. And I'm thinking, it's not just the NHS, it's the postie, it's the bin man, although they didn't pick up bins up this week.
It's the lady that works in the food shop or whatever.
It's everybody.
It's everybody. Question 5. Is Vicky to go first?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me. Right. Is that books or videos down there?
Old style computer games.
Yeah, I never played those.
Car and Caravan or the Flag of Spain.
Right. I used to ride badly a motorbike off-road, so I'm going to go with a scooter. Yeah.
Excellent. What's the oldest thing you own?
Because it's never the question that goes with the picture.
No, of course not. What's the oldest thing you own?
Oh, the oldest. I thought that old. I don't have anything from my childhood. I tell you what I have got. Yeah, because we've moved recently and we're in a new house, and at the same time we had to put my mum into a care home because she's got quite poorly. We closed her house and we condensed everything into one place. So now what I've got is this cabinet downstairs with some of the memories from my parents, because my dad's no longer with us and obviously my mum's in the care home. And I've got a pair of tailor's scissors. They're enormous tailor's scissors.
Really?
Yeah, because my father was a tailor, Savile Row tailor, and would, hand cut out suits in the old-fashioned way. So I managed to keep a front half of a suit with his hand sewing where he made all the padding in it, and that it would have been cut by him and his scissors. And what I want to do is find some sort of a display box so that I can put half of a suit and his scissors up on the wall as little.
The scissors. There's about a foot long.
Yeah.
Send us a picture. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go find them and take a picture
Yeah,
for you.
But yeah, please do send it. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah. And we kept some of the little bits for my daughter Charlie. So we've got the original tape measure, and a couple of pieces of original chalk, the little metal thimbles that you would sew with.
Yeah, cool.
So we just got like some of the little bits as well.
Brilliant. Brian gets the same question. Which?
Yeah, the oldest thing.
You are.
So I have some things from my grandfather who would be alive with Vicky's, thought about how long people live for. Yeah. He'd be about 112 right now. He was a doctor in World War II in the South Pacific, or the Pacific Theater. And he had been in the Philippines. He did some I guess work, like he helped a local family with some health issues, and as payment they handmade him this chess set. He shared that with me, and so I have that wrapped up. Yeah, that's beautiful. Coming up on 80 years now. I have some other things of his, but I think they're all post-war, so that's probably, like I have his cufflinks and his old bow tie and stuff.
Same deal. Send us a picture. I'll put it in the show notes. A handmade Filipino. Is it possible? Is that?
It's wrapped up in storage because it's. Right, okay. I mean, you can imagine the wood of it. I have to keep it pretty. Plus, I don't remember where it is.
It seems such a shame that it's wrapped away. You should.
I don't have a good place for it yet. Yeah, but when my son's a little bit older and our house is less covered in Legos, then it will be safe to come back out.
To play chess.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Fabulous.
That's pretty cool. I remember seeing it as a little kid, so it'd be nice to have that back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's got my dad's backgammon set because they used to play backgammon together. And you see, look how we're speaking. It's about, do you know what? That's the stuff that matters.
Yeah.
That's what matters. And it's the memories associated with the stuff. And quite frankly, that pair of shoes with a logo on it, is that going to matter in the future?
Yeah.
That's so what?
It's going back to me saying family in question 4, which is why I should win this whole thing. No, but look, we're all aligned on this, and this is the opportunity we have right now. That's what it's really about.
Yeah.
It's just we're looking to provoke thoughts or interactions. That's what we're trying to do. And if this has given somebody a thought or an idea, a book they might want to go read or something they want to do while we're all battened down in our houses, then you've got to decide who's won. And if you think Bryan gives you the funkiest insight, send an email to brian@funkythinkers.com. And if you think that Vicki gave you the funkiest insight, send an email to Vicki@funkythinkers.com. And you're not on a list or anything stupid like that, so do that. Bryan, how can we contact you and find out more?
So people can go to bryanfalchuk.com, and it's bryanfalchuk.com, and everything about me and where to follow me and get my books and all that is all there.
Fantastic. And Vicki, how can we contact you and find out more?
Funny that we're two completely unpronounceable and unspellable names.
Yes.
Same thing, VickiWusche.com, but of course you've got to be able to spell it. So it's Vicki, Vicki, and Wusche is WUSCHE.com. And that will get you through to finding me on all social media platforms and take you to my website as well.
Good. I've asked this before. Are you the only Vicki Wusche in the world? I've asked you that before.
I am. Yes,
Good.
We've been checking it out.
Brilliant.
Yes, we found some Wusches in America, actually.
Yeah.
So a little bunch of them went over to the States, and we know that part of our family is in Brazil, but they didn't breed the boys. So it was girls that went over there. So there's no Wusches there, but they're our closest family in that they're my father's sister and her tree, but they're not Wusches anymore. And I now just need to find the American Wusche.
Can we get a search party out to track them down?
Yeah.
We can do that.
There's no Wusches in the UK other than my daughter that kept the name and my sister that still got the name.
Yeah.
And my mum. Sorry, forgot. And my mum. And my mum's still alive. And my mum.
Good stuff. So that's all. We'll see you in episode 12. Thanks to Bryan and Vicki, and we'll speak soon.
Thanks, you.
John.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Hi, thanks so much for making it to the end of this episode. If you've enjoyed it, please share it with your friends. I have a few people you might want to share it with. Your partner, your parents, your grandma and granddad, your neighbours, your hairdresser, your tea lady, your gym instructor, your swimming coach, postman, the bin man, your cat, your dog, Father Christmas, Mr. Trump, Mr. Putin, Cristiano Ronaldo.